Hello! Welcome to the Tombolo Multicultural Variety Show. I'm your host, Michelle Debnath-Canning. If you're new to our show, we are here to showcase and promote new immigrant businesses and also the international arts and culture of this province. Today I had the opportunity to sit down with Nasir and Afia, owners and partners of Curry Delight. We went to the kitchen and got the opportunity to try some of their delicious dishes. And we had a chance to discuss how you go from serving meals at the office to expanding to a whole restaurant. Let's go take a look.
So my name is Afia Altaf.
I am Nasir Mohammed.
And we've been operating out of our restaurant location at 125 Park Avenue in Mont Pearl since February 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's been a few years. So before that, where were you? How did you get started?
So we actually started as like a little bit of a project that we had, just catering to some home dinners and stuff, that we just started off like people requesting us to, that we've met like just our own social circles, that we just had people say, hey, can you make this for us? I'm having guests come over and stuff like that. That's where it basically.
So I can actually talk about it a little bit because it actually all started with I work full time still in my different jobs, and I used to bring lunch, and whenever I hated my lunch, staff will say, other people, my colleagues would say, what is this? Like, why it smells so amazing? And so that's actually how it started. And I actually brought food from my colleagues, my friends, and they said, like, this is a really good product, and I think you should, make up into a business or something and sell it. And then we approached Farmers Market, and luckily we got a table, and this is how actually we started. We had a small booth.
We have not stopped since then.
Yeah.
Like, that was just the stepping stone, I guess, the little push that we needed, and we've been doing this since.
Wow. So what year did you start at the farmers market?
So farmers market was a few years earlier. So we started actually, I think roughly 2015 and the end of 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
And again, this was just a trial, and it took us like a year or so just to get the products according to the market in terms of our customers, and then we were mostly doing the research and stuff at that point, because I think I would agree, like if we wanted to create something, we wanted to make sure we can stand behind it, and we did a lot of research and taste testings and a lot of investment, and then we basically launched perfectly.
And that's a good business mindset, right? You have to know your customers.
Yeah.
How did you find that you were able to cater to the customers that are from your culture, but also the culture of the local?
Because when we started, actually, we were one of the very few ethnic restaurants or ethnic places that were open at the time that we started. So it was a little bit of a learning process for us as well, because things that we've been used to, haven't eaten this kind of food for years, or the way our parents, like our moms, used to make it and stuff. So it was a little bit of a learning process for us to just see what's important to, or what's available or liked by people who are living here, the farmers market clientele, because that's where we started. So it was a lot of talking, a lot of communicating with people, and just people were great by giving us their feedback and being willing to try what we had. So that was a very great way to start, of course.
But also, I would say, the community has supported us really, they have really supported us in launching this business, and they actually gave us feedback, and also I'm really amazed by the people who wants to try new things, right? And they wanted to try the dishes the way we make it, not just modify it too much. And that's why we put authentic in our mission, that we don't want to lose too much of the actual flavors. So we try to find a balance between them, and then sometimes we do for example, some dishes which are a little bit lower in spice, but the flavor is there. But some dishes are completely the way we eat it, and some of our clientele just want that, and some of our clientele want a little bit of a version which is a little bit less spicy, but they want to enjoy the flavor too. So you will not find a watered down butter chicken in our restaurant. I mean, it is what it's supposed to be. It will be a little bit less spicy because of our clientele sometimes, but we make our spicy dishes too, which is basically the way we eat back home. So because we don't want to lose the authentic label, because I think that's it is supposed to be tried the way it is supposed to be tried, right? Not like a modified version. Yeah. So.
And I like how you said you didn't want me to water it down.
Yeah.
To kind of accommodate to a whole different culture, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, right now, the cultural diversity in Newfoundland and Labrador has been growing over the years. How do you find that you're contributing to it?
So like, I actually, I believe like, when we started, actually, we were very, like one of the few restaurants, as Afia mentioned, that were trying to operate in this space. And I would say like, we have a very specific cuisine back home. Like, we are, because this cuisine is just basically a food of almost 2 billion people, right? So there's a lot of variety in that. So we represent, kind of try to bring our own niche community style of cooking and our own style of taste. Like, like we are from, in Pakistan, we are from Karachi, we are from like our Maiman community. We have a specific taste, have a specific way of making dishes, and that's what we bring. So like, you're basically, for somebody who doesn't know about Pakistan or Karachi, whatever, they're actually trying a food from 10,000 kilometers away from a niche community.
That's right.
So that's what I think we believe that we bring to the table in terms of diversity. Like, you're not just enjoying a Pakistani food, you're enjoying a really niche community kind of food in Pakistan. So that's what I think we think we bring to the table. So,
So how were you able to pivot from the market to opening up your whole restaurant? Because that is a huge.
That's a loaded question.
That was a big change.
It's a huge change for us, and like, and to be honest, we struggle with it every day, because we didn't realize at that time, we were like all passionate, we were not thinking about, and like, we have 3 small kids, and it takes a lot to run a restaurant, and we realize it, and COVID didn't help, because we were opened, and the next year actually COVID hit and everything got changed, right?
So you opened in
2019 February,
and then COVID
February
happened,
2020, 20 March, exactly 1 year afterwards, the COVID happened, and it's basically completely we have to change upside down how we run things. So it's been a struggle, but it was we wanted to approach it anyway, and that's one of the reasons we still at the farmers market, because we are in Mount Pearl. Some of the clientele that we have in farmers market, they will not be able to come to the Mount Pearl, so we kind of do both. So we do at the farmers market to try to take care of our clients over there, and we also will work here because to cover CBS and Mount Pearl and everything.
So you mentioned that you started in the farmers market.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit more about how that all got started and how you pivoted right to the restaurant?
So again, farmers, like, as I said, we were trying different with our friends, and they said like, this is a good product and you should, try to make it in a business, and like, maybe, and we would like to have it more besides you bringing in food for us that way. So we approached farmers market, and thankfully we got a table and we got a booth, and then few years down the road, we were researching how to open up a spot, because we were looking for our own kitchen, because that was our biggest hurdle, because we were renting kitchens to cook for the farmers market. And when I was talking to some of my restaurant friends, and so they don't have kitchen available at regular times. They give you the time that this is the time you're going to come to cook stuff, right? So, and we had to. It was really awkward, difficult for us logistically with the kids and all that. So we were really looking for our space that way. This is how it's actually started. And then when we found the space, and like, we got a few people involved, and it has space to have a hall too, for sit down. But we previously were just looking for our own kitchen, just because like, we wanted to have a space we can leave our stuff and prepare it and access it when we can, rather than the other way around. That was the biggest motivator. And then, it was a lot of complex process, like,
It's not easy to set up. There's a lot of things
it is.
involved
If you're opening up a
in,
business, as anybody would tell you, like, you have to work with the city, you have to work with other provincial departments to get your right permits and right licenses and everything. And like, and then it was a process that it was a learning process for us because we never had a business before.
Right.
And,
and then also moving from just like a once a week setup just at the St. John's Farmers Market or any other events that we used to do, it was a little bit of a learning process for us. It was a phase that we went through, and just for our own selves, that learning how to do it on a larger scale on almost
a regular basis, like almost every day, right?
Yeah.
So.
And then making sure that we have all the ingredients. It wasn't just like, okay, we could change something. We have enough time to find something. It was more like, okay, we have to have it beforehand. So it's little things that we are. Well, we're still learning. We're still growing on our own end. But it was a lot of those things that we had to really learn for ourselves just in the beginning. But thank God we're like into a little bit of a system now.
And like, I would say that the resources are available. Like, cities have been, we have dealt with the city of Mount Pearl for here. And they have a really good crowd. I mean, they support you and they help you guide. And we have also dealt with the City of St. John's too. So they are all also very helpful. And like, everybody is really helpful when you're trying to open a new business, which is great. It's just like, and of course it's a government department. So it's kind of sometimes there are delays and unavoidable delays for them. But like, it is the reality. But they're very good with you and to try to help you and guide you what to do next, what you need next, and if they exist for good reason. I mean, for the safety and everybody, which is good. So it was a learning thing for us, but we got through it, and now we have a space we can call home. So
there was just a lot of regulations.
Which is good.
The city was supportive at least.
Absolutely.
Opening this year too.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned about the resources as well. Tell us where you get the ingredients for all these dishes that you create here.
It's a lot of
different
back
suppliers.
And forth, there's a lot of
you
things.
mentioned that you had to make a lot of things from scratch.
Yes,
yourself.
Because there are stuff available, but we like to be able to control what goes in the food. Like that way, we can really cater to everybody. Like we have a lot of people who are sensitive or allergic to a certain elements that go in the food. Like for example, the most popular things are dairy, gluten, that kind of stuff.
Nuts.
So if we so if we create our own mixes and stuff, like we make our own, that gives us a lot more control over what we are providing.
And,
to people,
and our mantra is like, we eat, drink, inhale a lot of chemicals already. So we try to limit it as much as possible, and by going all from scratch, we can actually control how much we can, and we try to stay organic as much as possible, stay without pesticides, whatever, as much as possible, right?
So that's kind of like our little pride and joy that we make everything from
because
scratch.
we eat from the same food. And we feed the same food to our kids. So that's how we feel. We want to feed our customers' kids the same way. They're our kids. They're our family, right? So that's how we feel. We want to put what we're gonna give only what we eat ourselves. So we gotta make sure,
so we try to do as close as if we can find the most basic chemical free as we can, less preservatives. If we can find something locally through whether it's the big stores or if it's small grocery stores that are now carrying ethnic spices and herbs and stuff. So if we can do those, we go for that. A lot of the times we have to get them shipped in from bigger cities like Toronto and stuff like that. It's much better than it was before.
I was gonna say when we started, it was not
really
good.
hard.
We had to go get almost 80% of things from Toronto. Because you can't find the specific things that we use, and not in a natural, not in a a single ingredient basis. You will get a mixes. You will get 2 or 3 things mixed, and you have to use that. And so one thing we get do you use curry powder? We don't use curry powder. Because we use our own mixes. You don't use curry powder from somebody who made, I don't know what, God knows what they put in there, and then you're just using it as a curry. We don't use that. We use our own mix. We make our own spices. We make our own thing from scratch, as much as possible.
Of course.
So you mentioned that it's gotten better throughout the years since you started. So that kind of shows a little bit of diversifying.
Absolutely,
in the city as well. Right?
Even in Dominion, you can get a lot of things which was not possible before. I mean, and we have to rely on I mean, which we still do in some aspects for the ethnic stores, and then they have some spices. We have to hunt for those.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff we still have to get from Toronto. There's specific things that we can't get it here. So one day maybe
But
they will
it's
be
a
here.
lot
So
it's a huge difference from when we started.
Yeah.
It was a lot harder at that
Yeah.
time, but we know that we will be able to find a solution to any problem we have. Like a
Yeah.
quick solution is available now. Like you
Right.
will
Yeah.
find something locally
Yeah.
while you wait for a bigger shipment to come in.
Right.
There is
Yeah.
something you will definitely find in either one of the like
Store.
larger stores or
Or
if it's one of
smaller
those
stores,
smaller
Ethnic
ethnic-based
store.
stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some smaller ethnic-based stores that you usually go to, or you would even recommend?
So we go to Andulzia Market.
Yes,
that's
what
our
that's
go-to,
a-
and we also use there's a Daisy Meal store and on Elizabeth Avenue, and then also there's Tasties on Ellendale Road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
a couple different places. And if anybody recommends us another place that they
Yeah.
found,
Yeah.
we're the first ones to go
Yeah,
visit.
to
We
check,
do
you
want
know,
to find out,
like this is
right?
the thing we don't have to get
Really?
anymore. Yeah, from outside. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you mentioned also with the curry powder. Tell us about the title of your store, Curry Delight. Where did this all even come from?
Oh, well,
I mean,
the
that was
name
actually,
a lot
you know,
of,
I like actually we are heard like we hear a lot of comments like, you know, we are so delighted you're here. We
Yeah.
are so delighted you're here. So you said, you know, Curry Delight, you know, that's how it actually came from, and actually one of my friend actually helped me out with that.
Yes.
So he said like,
There was a
why don't you
lot of-
call it that? And
There
I
was
thought,
a
yeah,
lot
that's
of,
good. Like, you know, so
back and forth with that, but
Yeah.
majorly
friend,
was one of his
he-
friends who suggested
See,
the name, and we were
yeah.
like, we love it. Like
Yeah.
the second he mentioned it, we were like, hey, that talks exactly how we feel.
And your logo.
Yes.
yeah.
That's our well, it was a joint effort, so I won't take all the credit.
No, it's just like, you know, like it's
The hearts
just
over there, that's
yeah,
that's something
that's
that we
like, you know,
really had to
no, nobody
put
can
there.
copy that. The amount of love we put in our food,
Yeah.
nobody can copy that. That's a secret ingredient.
It's our not so secret ingredient. We talk about it all the
So
time.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like, you know, the bowl is there and the rice and the curry is there and there's
And
a
the
spoon
because
and
mostly you would use like
Yeah.
either your hands or a spoon too,
Yeah.
because our food is mostly like a
little bit
curry-based,
liquidy, little bit the
liquidy.
gravy side,
So
right?
you
So
would want to do that. So and the leaf is there for like to show how
Herbs.
close we are. The herbs and spices and how close we are to natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how much effort we put into making sure that the food is extremely close to natural and like
Organic
no
as much as-
preservatives,
yeah.
as organic as possible. Like we try to
Yeah.
cut down on all the bad stuff that we usually would indulge in.
we
but
have no
try our-
choice because of the,
yeah.
you know, yeah,
We try our best to make it as natural and as close to
as possible, yeah.
as possible.
As
yeah.
possible, right?
Yeah.
And now that you're making these cuisines too, does it make you feel more connected to your culture and heritage, maybe your country of origin? So you're both from
Yes.
India too, right?
From
From
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
You're from Pakistan.
Yeah, yeah.
So does it make you feel connected to Pakistan?
Yes. Yeah, of
Absolutely, like, you know, as I said, like, you
Good.
know, who would have thought, like, in St. John's or in Mount Pearl, like, you know, you could try cuisine from that smaller community back in Karachi, right? So that's we feel like, and when especially when people try our cuisines, that our dishes that are specific to our community, it gives us a sense of pride. Like, you know, they're kind of part of our small community now because, like, you know,
You're the ambassador.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
and we hope they're good ambassadors. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what we feel like. You
huge,
know,
yeah.
it's we feel like when people specifically try our not so popular, not so common dishes that like butter chicken, that we have our own stir fry egg curry, we have our own eggplant curry, and our dark chickpeas curry. That's our more community based curries.
Yeah.
And when people try them, they like it. Like this, we have never tried before. A lot of people tell to us, we haven't never seen dark chickpeas before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they try dark chickpeas curry, and then that's kind of makes us proud. Of course, there's butter chicken, there's masala chickens. Everybody knows about Pakistani cuisine that those dishes are common, but the dishes
But
that we
again,
make
the way
specifically,
the way we make them also is different because
Yeah.
somebody who's really
Yeah.
like who can tell them apart, like who's really creative or really knows how to
Yeah.
tell things apart.
Yeah.
They would be able to tell the difference between our cuisine, like how Karachi based or how like our
Yeah.
own Maiman style that we have in our food. It is different from what you would have in
like from like a
just
Punjab
community,
province
yeah.
or from Balochistan province, like,
It's
you know, they
different
will,
across
yeah,
just communities, so
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
personal to us when we cook our food and we bring it out to people. This is what we've made, right?
Yeah.
This is what that we've had for years. Like this is what we grew up with, and
Right.
sharing that gives us a huge sense of just being connected in that way,
Right.
and just it's a part of our day. literally. So
Yeah.
it's huge, and food is something that really connects us, and it crosses borders, and we're here on an island, and
It's universal. Like, you don't need to know the language of the food where it came from, but if the food will talk, right? You know,
Yeah.
you will be able to understand it. Like, if you enjoy it, everybody can connect with good food.
All right, so I'm so excited to try this. So tell us what all of these dishes are.
So this is a little bit of our snack platter that I have here for you, along with two of our most popular dips. So over here I have the reisha kebab. So it's made out of minced chicken, and they call it, the word reisha just means like string and stuff. So you'll feel the little texture in there, like the stretch.
So like a stringy kebab.
Stringy, and it's got a little bit of a smooth texture to it. Just a little bit of both. You can feel that in there.
Okay.
And then our most popular pakora snacks, as well as some veggie samosas. And then I've got some naan on the side as well, because again, the naan goes really well. My favorite is to just dip it in with the yogurt sauce, because it's got a really nice, you get a nice fresh, like light, cool taste when you do that. I just like to do it anyways. So these are a few choices that we have, and then the tamarind sauce has a sweet and spicy flavor to it too, but it's not overpowering. Like, it's got a little bit of both, so it balances out really well. But it pairs really well with all the snacks as well. So it's a very popular hit there as well.
I love seeing these appetizer options. So I'm going to give this one a little try here.
Of course.
So this is the one that you were talking about that's got a stringy and smooth texture.
It's a smooth in there as well.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to try it with this one first. So what did you say this one was?
This is our yogurt sauce, and I've got some fresh cilantro leaves chopped in there, as well as a little tiny bit of green chili that you'll feel.
I can feel it.
A very light little flavor in there.
That's good. And then I'm going to try the tamarind one as well. I really think I like this one.
It's very popular. To pair it with any
and
of
this
the
has more of a kick too, and this is more cool. I can see you're getting more of the flavors depending on which one you're dipping it in, right?
Yes,
what an
that's true.
experience. And I'm going to try, so tell me what this one was again, the
this
pakora.
Is the pakoras, and they're made with the chickpea flour and the chopped onions and the spinach in there. It's got a nice crunchy flavor as well to it.
And you said this was your most popular, one of
this
your
is
most popular
one
dish.
of the most popular snacks that we do.
Do you find that the appetizer dish is more popular, or do you still find that the classic butter chicken dish is more of what your customers like?
It's a little bit of both, and then we also do like you can either opt for a whole snack platter, which would be a little bit of multiples.
This is so nice and crunchy. It's so good.
And then you can also, we have a lot of people go for the combo style, like they'll have their rice, they'll have their butter chicken, they'll do any of their chickpeas or veggie sides, and then they'll add a few snacks on top. Like, you could just add a pakora or two, or samosas or kebabs. You can add anything on top of your combo.
So you can have like a 2-course meal. You can have your appetizer first, and then you can have your main course. Like combos and stuff.
Kind of just like any of the restaurant styles you go to too.
We do a little bit of like, we tell people that you just tell us what you want, and we'll just make it up for you.
We'll make it for you. And you know, people don't realize, I think, how much work there goes into making a samosa, because it's such a common dish. But tell us what some of the process is to actually make something like this.
So
it's so good.
It majorly is a 2-step process. So first thing, you would prepare your dough. You have to get that dough ready, and then you also have to have the filling ready. So those are two things that you would do beforehand. And then comes the assembly, where you would you flatten the dough out, you you put the filling in the middle, and then you got to roll it into that perfect triangle shape there we have.
These are perfect little triangles.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Try it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect enough. It tastes so good.
And then if we do so, we do other few kinds of samosas as well. So this one that you're having is our potato and pea one, the most popular veggie one that we do. We also have chicken, we do beef, and then we also have a few veggie ones, but they have different fillings inside.
Okay.
So they change with what you add in them.
Right.
In the samosa, the most important thing is the filling, right?
Right.
So you
And the crunch too.
It does. I love the crunch with it. It's so good. Everything on this dish needs to be crunchy. And what about the naans? Do you make that from scratch as well?
Yeah, we do. We have someone who helps us with the prepared dough. Like I have somebody who does that for me. And then we don't have a tandoor oven, but we do try to take the idea of a tandoor oven. So we have a little bit of our charcoal that we do for that little bit of a stone bake feel.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit process that we do with some coal and wood chips. So just to get that little bit of a smoky, little bit of that coal flavor.
Yeah.
And then we bake them.
And there really is a difference between, you know, you're getting it at the restaurant versus, you know, getting it at the grocery store, right? Like you can see the texture difference and the freshness with it too.
Yeah. But our biggest sadness, just when it comes to naan, is that we don't have our own tandoor oven. That's the only thing that we like.
So tell us about this oven. What makes it so special?
I guess it's the
it's a clay oven, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's built differently. It's not like a regular oven. So I think the taste and the way that the temperature and all works, I think it just gives a different flavor to the bread. And
those
the way
earthy
it's
tones
gets cooked
show up
also,
in there,
so
like just when you do it right.
Yeah. So this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for letting me try your food.
Thank you for trying.
So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Michelle Debnath-Canning, and you are watching the Tombolo Multicultural Variety Show of Newfoundland and Labrador. We'll see you next time.